came over to me and said, pass me the bottle. So I was holding the bottle like this, I was passing it to him very carefully. Due to some technical error, the bottle slipped from my hand. And in the dark, after a heavy silence, landed on the ground and exploded like a firecracker, announcing the arrival of the new year. For a moment, my friends didn't know what had happened. And then they realized that the liquid that was floating in between their legs was actually the precious whiskey, for which we had all saved all the energy for the New Year's Eve. When they realized that, then the real firecrackers started. Each one of them started getting angry, screaming, shouting at me, "You clumsy so and so, so and so." I've never seen such an impressive firework till today. What a lovely evening spoiled because of my clumsy hand. There's one thing uncanny about my hand also, the timing. It always does things at the climax, when everything's about to start. Here's another story. A group of friends, we had gone on a tour of India. And on our way back, we wanted to spend a night in the city of Calcutta, which was famous for the nightlife. So in the hotel before coming out, since it was the last stop, we looked at a budget, how much money we had. We had just limited money because it was the last stop. But we had enough to buy a couple of drinks and good food. So I said, okay, let's go guys. All of us young students got dressed up, excited, looking forward to a great evening, not knowing what's going to happen. We walked into a restaurant, went straight to the bar, sat on a high stool. When the drinks came, we wanted to toast to a successful trip. I was sitting on the extreme left because I always avoid sitting in the middle because I know my hands can do a lot of messing around. I was sitting on the extreme left. Next to me was a neighbor. He was at a safe distance, not to worry. When the drinks came, we all wanted to toast to a wonderful trip. So as we raised a glass to toast, here's to our wonderful, I don't know for whatever reason, my left elbow managed to encroach on my neighbor's territory and topple his glass along with his drinks. We all stuck like this. This was not in the script. We all stuck like this. My friend's frozen, I'm frozen, and look at him. This man was drunk, but the way he looked at me was, how a baby, when you snatch a bottle of milk from him, how he look. So, looking at him, I knew that if I don't buy him a drink, he's going to create a problem. So I politely asked him, "So what are you drinking?" He asked me for a very expensive drink. And buying that drink, our budget was completely slashed by half. Our evening slashed by half. All the fun gone. I mean, you should have seen my friends' faces. They were frustrated. It bring a lovely evening to an abrupt halt. The moment we were out of the door of the restaurant, they all stopped me, screaming, shouting. I'll never forget that earful I got on the way back to the room. Till today, because of my hand. Now, over this long years, my wife, she has suffered enough. She knows what my hands can do. She's very careful. But at times, I can give her a surprise also. As I did one day. I'd come back from office after a hectic day, so I wanted to have tea. And I enjoyed the leaf tea. So I asked my wife, "Can I have tea?" She said, "No, you make it, I'm too busy." I said, "Wow, okay, I'll try my hand." So I put the water to boil, and I went for the tea leaves container on the shelf. I don't know why my wife likes to keep things on such a high thing. So I reached out carefully, brought the container down, took over the lid, put the leaves in the boiling water, put the lid back so far so good, no disaster till now. When I was putting it back, my wife said something, that must have distracted me, I think. I think I lost my concentration because I thought I had left the container on the shelf, but as I turned around, apparently I had not put it there. The container came crashing on the floor, tea leaves scattered all over the place. My wife jumped from her chair as if she's been hit by lightning, screaming, "You're sloppy, you always never improve, you always make a mess of the house." And I was standing on the corner like a scolded child saying, "You can trust myself, but you cannot trust my hand." Yes, he doesn't trust me because whenever we go out, the first thing she'll do is she'll do a quick risk assessment to see if there's anything that can spill or break. Like a hawk's eye, she'll move it away from me. And while we're having dinner, she's constantly telling me from the side, "Be careful, watch. You're pulling that tablecloth, watch the glass." But even then, sometimes I manage to topple it. So, given all this, over the years, looks like things are not going to improve. So I'm sure, my friends, if I invite you for dinner or lunch in a restaurant, come with the most expensive suit, but please be careful of my hands. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Of course, he made us laugh, right? Thank you. So the next speech is going to give by Toastmaster Shiv Kumar. Before that, the evaluation is going to give by Toastmaster Arun Kumar. Please come with us.
Toastmasters and guests. Another champion is going to be get onto the podium for again another mock-up. When I say champion, he is the first place winner of international speech in our club. When I say international speech, that's the most glamorous position in a club contest. I'm going to be the evaluator, but I'm not the only evaluator for him today, because coming Friday he is going to compete in the area contest in MCC. So when an international speaker is on the podium for a contest, not only his performance but a teamwork will win over. We need to support. Wherever he wants some support, a clap, a kind of emotional support from the audience side, we as a team should provide. That would add a lot of value. Second, you all need to listen and observe what he is doing and what way you can advise him to improve in another 3 days so that he can come up with another trophy for us. So, apart from what I do, keep listening, keep understanding what's doing, pinpoint the areas where we can put our own suggestions privately. Talk before you go, tell him this area could have been improved. When you go to the next stage, do this. If you do like this, it will be better, so that he can adopt that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kumar. And the timer is the same, no?
Yeah, time is same.
So Toastmaster Shiv Kumar, please come on with that.
If you think this world is suffering from diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, or cancer, then I must say you are all wrong. This world is actually suffering from a disease called procrastination, a habit of postponing something which is very, very important for them. You don't believe me, right? Let me prove it. How many of you postpone your speech preparation until the last moment, or exam preparation until the last moment? Can you please raise your hands? For that matter, bill payments, skipping gym, going for jogging, we do it. Procrastination. If you think you are the only procrastinators, then sorry, I'm one of them. I was a big time procrastinator like all of you. And let me tell you, in this world there is no one called non-procrastinators. Contestant and fellow procrastinators. A warm greeting. I was affected with this disease of procrastination early from my childhood. It got aggravated from the time when I won running race competition at my school. Believe me, from then onwards, I used to start just before 10 minutes to my school, whereas it usually takes half an hour time. I used to run at my maximum speed, but I always used to be late. It's not just that. If you think procrastinators are lazy fellows, then that is again wrong. we are very smart, very active, quite confident. In most cases, we are overconfident. And we exactly know how to work under pressure. Because most of the times, we take action at the last moment, right? But we have a problem. You know, we have two minds working together. One is big bro mind, the way I call it, and another is monkey mind. Big bro mind always tells you to take action on time. Shiva, you have to do this now. You don't have time. This is the right moment. And monkey mind is something which says, bro, you can relax. We have plenty of time in this world. In most of the cases, all of us get confused between these two and never take action. But if you think it is okay to procrastinate, then again, sorry. You can never imagine the damage that it causes in certain situations. Especially when it becomes personal, you cannot do it. For the first time ever, my parents were actually traveling to UAE. For that matter, it is the first time for them to travel outside India. I made all the finicky arrangements so that they can comfortably board flight at Chennai. That being a working day, I was at office, but I told all my colleagues that I will be leaving sharp by 12 o'clock because they are expected at airport by 12:30. But unfortunately, due to this monkey mind, I couldn't start at 12 o'clock. Whenever I wanted to start, this keeps saying, bro, you can still wait. They must be collecting their luggage. Bro, you can still relax. It's too early. There is no traffic at this time. I used to wait. And by the time I reached the airport, believe me, it was 2:30 p.m. And you know what? Flight was early by half an hour. I searched for my parents all across the places. Couldn't find them. I went to immigration department and inquired, nobody bothered. I went to help desk and made a couple of announcements in my own language. Mother tongue. No use. Where are my parents? I felt myself like lost. Far away, under the scorching sun, an old couple were struggling to pull their luggage to cross the road. Unfortunately, those were my parents. That day, I cursed myself for being a procrastinator. That moment, I decided myself not to give any chance to my procrastination to take over my life. I faced all the challenges which I used to procrastinate in the past. I never used to get up early in the morning for jogging. I did, and I have been. I never used to go to office on time. I did, and I have been. I never used to prepare for speeches on time. At the right moment, now I can. How do you think it's possible? It is possible with something in each and every one of you. That's willpower. And it's true. You know procrastination is the reason which is the cause for all your embarrassments in your life. That is the reason which is just a time killer, goal killer. And that makes ourselves just spectators of our own life while all our dreams, goals are just going away from us. You can't do anything about that? Come on, that's a pity. That's a pity on us. Believe me, friends, there is a main difference between a winner and a loser. Winner takes action, loser doesn't. Are you with me to take action and remove your procrastination forever? Please raise your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiv Kumar. Wonderful. You have delivered his speech wonderful. Thank you. Let's give a applause to him. And moving on to the next part of the speech evaluation. So before the speech evaluation, let me ask you the timer. Please explain the evaluation turning rule.
Good evening once again to all of you. Toastmaster Muhammad Yunus took 6 minutes 15 seconds. Toastmaster Mr. Ashraf
No,
took.
I mean that the evaluation speech is the next category.
So you do not do a report now?
Ah, okay, sorry, for the voting.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Toastmaster Ashraf took 7 minutes 10 seconds. Toastmaster Purandai took 6 minutes 47 seconds. Toastmaster Shivakumar took 6 minutes 48 seconds. All are qualified for the voting.
Okay.
You have to consider this to.
Yeah, that evaluation speech also,
Oh.
the timing.
The time allotted for evaluation speech is 2 to 3 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds. The green light will be on at 2 minutes and amber light will be on at 2 minutes 30 seconds and green light will be on at 3 minutes. And will continue till he finish the speech. Evaluators who maintain the speech between 1 minute 30 seconds and 3 minutes 30 seconds will be qualified for the voting. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. So, all of you, I request you to make the voting for the best speaker in your view. That slip is already spread there, right?
I think for the contestants, only for two.
Two only enough?
Okay.
Okay. So only the two, you consider only the two, the first speaker and the second one. Mr. Toastmaster Yunus, Muhammad Yunus and Ashraf. Only these two, only the committee. Another is not considered. Okay?
They are already winners.
Yeah, they already the winner. Okay, however, we are moving to the next session of the speech evaluation. It's going to give first Toastmaster Muhammad Yunus. It's going to give by Madam Toastmaster Jamila. Please go next.
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, a warm good evening to one and all.
Good evening.
And a special good evening to my speaker, the icebreaker Toastmaster Muhammad Yunus, for completing his first speech, the icebreaker, and starting the journey of Toastmastering. Let us give a big applause to Toastmaster. Here, I don't want to be very finicky in evaluating Toastmaster Muhammad Yunus because he is an icebreaker, because the purpose of the speech, icebreaker speech itself says that it is to introduce the person to the club by following the basic structure of a speech. And Toastmaster Muhammad Yunus has successfully achieved that target, that expectation, by delivering his speech, by following the principles of the speech. There was a opening, body and conclusion, and the transition from opening to body and the body to conclusion was smooth and seamless. Who doesn't like story over here? Can you raise your hand? I can't see anybody. It's a very good start Toastmaster Yunus has done by starting his opening with a story, and there was a message in that story that what is inside us takes us forward. So that's a very good take-home message that everyone can follow. And his self-introduction, he divided into two parts, the personal and the professional. So it was very clear in our mind. In his personal, he covered all his personal life till today, starting from his childhood, where he was born, and how was his childhood, what were his hobbies, and his schooling, college, and the university, everything. And on the professional front, he said, one more take-home message: when you are depressed, don't focus on your depression. Instead, focus on hearing the inspiring speeches and see how you can improve. And that has helped Toastmaster Yunus to get his current good job as a ERP professional. Just for two points for your improvement in the future speech, not in the current speech. You can use your stage more. You had some hand gestures, but you could have used the stage a little more. And the closing part, you could have entered with a punching quote or a take home message. Oh, that's all from my side. And all the very best for your Toastmastering journey.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jamila. And the next evaluator, Toastmaster Ashraf, is going to give by Toastmaster Ramraj.
Toastmasters of the evening, fellow Toastmasters, and yes, once again, good evening.
Good evening.
Toastmaster Ashraf. This speech, project number 2, it's coming under pathway, project 2 and level 2 on the pathway. He has taken a very good subject which is apt towards today's everybody's, like everyone, all of us are professionals, and everybody has to face this communication style in every front. See, for example, I'm not very finicky about my food habits, but my wife is very finicky about my food habits. Why? And when it's a communication comes to communication, she approaches different type of communication styles while giving my food. Like sometimes she is very aggressive, sometimes very supportive. So we know that communication is a very important aspect of everybody's life in their professional as well as personal life. And Toastmaster Ashraf, he has given his personal example. One is in the line, there was an accident and how the communication went on with the driver. And similarly, another one back home in India, how the communication style went in between the police officer and the driver. So everywhere, we will ourselves have different type of communication styles when it comes to different situations. That is most important thing. He has emphasized that communication style. That's about the speech. Second thing is what he is talking about, this speech style. When I joined my company 30 years back, my boss was very aggressive. So sometimes we will appreciate that kind of boss as well. The boss is very aggressive, then we learn quite a lot. We'll be very serious about our job. So that's what actually happened with our communication styles. So in overall, the communication is a very important subject, and the way he has started communication, this subject, the topic, and he has narrated the stories, everybody has got taken the attention of every audience who really enjoyed this speech. Every speech has got some kind of improvements. We need to improve our speech by way of different kind of improvement styles. What I found from his speech is, the first one is that he should have been added little humorous in his speech, so that it would have really attracted the audience, number one. Number two, the voice modulation. When he talked to the police officer as well as the driver here, he could have different voice modulation. That would have again enriched his speaking style. The third one is his body language. We have ample space here in the stage. He could have utilized by, for example, the first stage where he had talked about the accident here in UAE, he could have placed question in one place. And the second incident when he started in India, then he should have come to another place. And eye contact, that will give more eye contact to the whole audience in this stage. Otherwise, it's well developed. Let us give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Ashraf for completing this.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramraj. And the next speech is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Rajesh Parekh.
Toastmaster of the evening and fellow members once again. Good evening. We have given job for student pride to make us laugh. Did we laugh or what?
Yes.
Everyone is laughing. There's a human psychology. When somebody suffers, we laugh. Somebody falls, we laugh. Somebody spills, we laugh. This human psychology very well he adopted his script. That is the best thing in the human speech. Because first you should understand the human psychology, how to make them laugh. So that is why he chose a script such a way, so all his failures you make you to laugh. So in my house, my wife has got butterscotch here, so I am paying for it. So I felt the pain of that, but still I laughed. And the script, 3 stories he told about the bottles, this thing, again about the spilling of the neighbor's glass and spilling of the tea pot, everything. But all these things, the failures, he come across, which made us to laugh. So anyway, he is the winner of the club level humorous speaker. Now anyway, he is going for the area level. I think some more improvement is required. When the area level are much high competition will be there. And for that, one thing is, I asked the audience support. So whenever you are after the punch, say after the spilling the bottle, you should give a pause, so that the audience will understand the joke and then will laugh. So you give a time to audience to laugh. And another thing, the podium, your movement on the stage. Some areas it was erratic. The movement should be with some logic. Some story, if you are starting here, one story here, another story here, third story there. But you can do lot of melodrama to make the audience to laugh. That is anyway, it is considered good, but some areas your movement was not with the script. That area you can improve. And again, bribe us to laugh with your contest.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. And the next evaluator is going to give by Toastmaster Arun Kumar.
The literary word, there's a saying, a pen is more mightier than a sword, right? But in the case of public speaking, we tell in another way. If the speech is silver, something is gold. What is that? If the speech is silver, the silence in between takes the place of gold. Silence is nothing but small pauses which come in between the speeches. The best thing which I like in today's speech of Toastmaster Shiva is that pen, that pose he used to introduce in his speeches. Let us start encouraging him by a thunderous round of applause. Now, just the areas where did I like your speech? As per the structure, spot on timing, 6 minutes 48 seconds. 7 is the max. You can stick on to that, 48 to 50, max 55. You opened with a proper question. There itself you connected with the audience. You made the audience to be got attracted to your speech by asking them, okay, raise your hand if you are having this particular habit. Yes, that's done. Similarly, you concluded with a conclusion where also, there also you had a punch anecdote, did well. But here there is a conflict. In the beginning, the opening you asked to raise the hands. Same way during the closing also you asked the audience to raise the hands. Is that good? He can avoid one of these. That's what I feel. Maybe the opening you can, instead of, so in the closing you have an anecdote, a punch, you are winner or loser, right? So that should be reframed, it looks, because it should be properly glued into procrastination. Yes, whoever doesn't procrastinate, they are going to be the winners. But winning, if you want to win, if you just avoid the procrastination, that doesn't mean that you are going to be a winner. This is one of the attributes which make you a winner, right? So that conclusion you need to little bit glue into your final closing anecdote. Then you don't ask for raising the hands, maybe at the beginning or end. One place you stick on. Maybe in the beginning you can start with another kind of enacting or something to get the audience attraction. 1 point. Then overall speech, the structure was very good. Opening, body, and you included your personal stories and very genuine incidences in between, very short. That's all good. Maybe what you can do, did you mention your name in between? No, right? I used to see in many speeches, to make it more personalized. So you had an instance wherein in the airport you met your parents and all, right? Then maybe you can mention yourself. Shiva, see, so if somebody is calling, instead of even a parent can use that. Okay? Instead of mentioning like if someone is representing you, you can just represent that question by including your name itself. Nothing wrong in that. So it will be more personalized. The speech will be more personalized. You just think of, discuss under 1 or 2 places. So if someone is asking or quoting something with your name, you can mention Shiva. That itself you can include there. Okay, instead of telling I so and so. Good conclusion. Anything punch was okay? Yes, you properly connect with the audience. Then you use the property. Okay, connected with the audience. First thing is eye contact. See, first place you involve the audience by asking questions. 2 places. Fine. Then second part is the eye contact. Eye contact, you didn't cover the entire area because as a part of your enacting, you were some point of time you are looking into one area only. That you need to adjust. So in between, maybe during this 7 minutes, someone will be sitting there and doing something else or start sleeping. That you should not give a chance. So in between, you need to have a proper eye contact to a number of audience wherever the max possible. Then a few more points. Another thing. There is a kind of rhetoric device. Like you have given multiple examples of procrastination, right? Different ways of procrastinating in the very beginning. Can you repeat that? What was that?
For speech preparation, jogging, gym, going
Yes.
to gym, and paying bills.
Now it is in terms of counting is 5, right? So what you need to do, it's another technique. Start from the first one, then connect to that, increase. Your voice also should be modulated, increase. The tone should increase. Then a single, you should release your this one. Okay, exhale only at the end. Okay, so start with the first example. Slightly raise your voice, connect to that, increase. So what will happen? So along with you, the audience also will do the same thing. First example, don't leave any, there you should not add any gap. First example, slightly raise the voice. Second example, slightly raise the voice. So automatically the audience will come with you, and we will also exhale only at the end. So that's a way of doing it's a rhetoric device where you can approach the speech. It's a very good technique. You have very good cases in your speech to introduce that. one is this examples when you say 1, 2, 3, 4, and in between towards the end also you try to do in the similar way, but try in that way, and incremental tone variations are such, and in a single stretch. We used to see, so from this place to that place they will reach by the time, and you will release, then another opportunity to come back to another compartment. Okay. Now that is a pause. So after releasing, then you can come back or move to the another area. That is your pause in between your speech. Then another thing, I'm taking a bit more time just to explain a few more things. False voice. False voice in sense, even I have that, means high tone. You are continuously keeping your tone in the high pitch. High pitch itself, if you are singing a song, sometimes there is a melodious voice as well as false voice, right? So when you deliver in the high pitch area, we could experience some cases that turns into false voice. Okay, that can be turned into a normal voice if you practice in the high pitch areas. Okay, that just modulate the voice so that cracking will come down. Okay, it should not. So because if it is a false voice and enacting also, if it is not genuine, so if it is a fabricated enacting, audience will not like. It should be very simple. Enacting should be very simple. Otherwise, if you just keep our muscles like this and act it, then sometimes, okay, audience also will feel, okay, he's trying to do kind of drama. But it was not a drama, but what I'm telling, so these two things, when you act something, try to be more genuine, okay, very relaxed. Second thing, voice in the high pitch areas, again, you try to stabilize. Then the podium usage, compartmentalization. That transition, when you move from one area to another area, you are suddenly stopping and just moving abruptly. I could see in one of the cases. So that's also a transition. That movement should be tell something and stop. Then on a relaxed mode, you come back. During that time, you should again that movement also you should not lose the contact with the audience. So when you come here, if you just look like this and come back, that is a distraction. Okay. Instead of that, when you move back again, if you are just come back, relax. You are looking into the audience again. You are not losing the contact with the audience. So that way, or you can act something so that they also will get the same feeling. So when you arrange the stage movements. Yeah, one more thing. Property is an important point. You have a property, that's a printed document, right? Property has its own value in the speech. Definitely, if you don't have proper properties, you will not be winning. And this is okay. You have two printed images. What if the lectern is not there near to you? Now, in our case, it is very comfortable. It's just you can pull it out from here. Normally, good speakers, they used to hide somewhere, okay, and pull out immediately. So just see whether you can keep it there. Check with the certain crafts if the podium is very. Otherwise, mostly NPCs, right? It is not that nearby. Just nearby only. Then you try. So you need to manage it. Okay. Otherwise, instead of the printed sheet, why can't you make it as something else? It means you have two. One is monkey, right? Maybe two small your toys. I don't know. Just get the common opinions. Yeah. Just yeah. If it is available, it's okay. So you can then, if that is the case, you can just pull out, and whenever you want, you can show it. So it's because there are two things. Procrastination is the most common topic for international skills. If you go any contest, at least one or two contestants will be there with the procrastination specifically or associated topic. So you can win only if you perform in a different way or if the audience notice. See, as soon as they hear procrastination, if it is for the first time, it's okay. Multiple times, the judges definitely they will look for something different. Okay, in terms of your performance, you have that. I'm not telling. Yeah. No, I'm not telling. So procrastination is good. The way you present it is good, but there you can some improvements wherever you can include it. That's what I'm telling. Instead of printed paper, it can be something else that will definitely add value. So these are my points, and as I suggested to other audience, this is only my point of view, and you have only 3 days. Even if you don't change anything, still you are going to be the winner. No doubt. We are with you. Right? And other audience like Rajesh and you just give your opinion so that you will get a winner. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Kumar. It was a wonderful, great evaluation he has done, but unfortunately he taken over time. Anyway, thank you. Give a round of applause for him. And timer, please explain the time of evaluation.
Good evening. Malayali Toastmaster Jamila took 3 minutes 10 seconds. Toastmaster Ramdas took 3 minutes 24 seconds. Toastmaster Rajesh Pandikar took 2 minutes 19 seconds. Toastmaster Arun Kumar took 13 minutes 55 seconds. By excusing Toastmaster Arun Kumar, only Toastmaster Jamila, Toastmaster Ramdas, Toastmaster Rajesh Pandikar are qualified for over.
Okay, thank you. So dear all, please vote the best evaluator as per your view. And the next session is table topics. Before that, I would like to inform you all, I need more 20 minutes, which we are going to stop 10 o'clock actually normally. So in the case of special, let me take 10 minutes, or we need to 10 minutes. So we can conduct the table topic, 2 or 3. Okay, fine. So it's okay. So for the table topic, I would like to call our Toastmaster Venkatesh.
So again, good evening to everyone. This is one of the interesting topic, table topic. I will invite I'll invite Annie to take one table topics, just for a guest verifier, so guests can understand how the table topics works here. This is big topic.
If you read 2 times, let him read like a contest, it will be 2 times. 2 times to read loudly.
Okay, the topic what she chose and is what would you do differently if you know nobody would judge you. The topic is what would you do differently if you knew nobody would judge you. And you
Let's start with the contest.
Contest Chair, good evening Toastmasters and distinguished guests. What will I do if I was not judged? So, this world is a stage like we all know, and all of us base our decisions because someone is watching us, or someone is making an evaluation. Whether we like it or not, at the back of our minds, we know that someone is really looking at us, someone, you know, it could be God, it could be your people around you. You're always leaving an impression, right? So obviously, we're all basing our thoughts about how people evaluate you, how people look at you. Today I'm dressed like this, I don't know what people think about me. Tomorrow I'm going to be this, I'm going to have this qualification, I don't know what people think about me. And my children are educated like this, and my children are getting low scores. What would the community judge me, or what would the teachers talk about me? This is how we make all our decisions. So just in case I was not judged, I would think that children, this is my opinion, okay, children can be actually educated in their homes, in their communities, all right? Because we feel, I mean, or, you know, all of us, this is just the education right now, what I would think, is like a big ground where people make money. It's a money-making business and nothing else. So what I would think, if I was not judge of this whole entire, I mean, the whole system of the world would change. Education can be very well brought from a home where people or children or parents can take the responsibility of bringing up the children, and also a community can do that. All right, so every child is being born to a family where the whole and sole responsibility for the child to be raised is belonging to the parents and also the community and the extended family, you know, all the community and the social people around them. Everybody play a very important role in building up this child's future. So if this world was not so, I would think, and I would do this thing differently, like to educate my children and the children of this world. I would let the parents and the community raise these children, because moral values and everything that is to be done for these children, okay, good and bad basically, is to be taught at home. It starts from home. So, thank you very much.
Any volunteers from this? Volunteers from this? This you can talk relevant. Talk relevant. The topic chosen by Santosh. What is the difference between living and existing? The topic is, what is the difference between living and existing? Santosh.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Topic is about living and existence actually. I believe this subject is more related to the previous topic itself. It's about living yourself into a free world, or you are controlled by someone else. Existence is something which is controlled by others around you, and similarly, living is something which I understand as per you, as you go ahead as what you wish. You can live as you want in your brain, in with your interest, hobbies, whatever it is. You live your own. But the other way, existence, you are surrounded by people, you are surrounded by many relations, and which makes you remotely controlled by someone else, or you are controlled by someone else in your life. So this is where it comes the difference, I believe, that living and existence. So that's what I think in fact about this difference. Thanks.
One more volunteers?
Opportunity for the guests.
Any guest?
Any guest Toastmasters? Yeah. Previous Toastmasters, who are the guests today?
That's one chance.
One more chance.
Otherwise, you have to wait another 50
Golden
days.
chance.
It's a fresh time for you.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Toastmaster. And the timer?
Yeah. Modern Toastmaster, I need 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Toastmaster Santosh took 1 minute, 4 seconds. Both are equal votes.
Okay. So, dear audience, please vote for the best several topic. And we are moving to our next session. Is the report. I would like to call Weight Master and Grammarian to present the report. Toastmaster Shivkumar, please.
Good evening once again. Good evening. As the word is concerned, Rajesh has used this once, Ashraf has used it once, myself once, Jamila has used once, and Toastmaster Ramraj has used it twice. So finicky is the word, try to use it in your daily life as well. And coming to grammar and role, to be frank, actually I have not noted down much of the points, but most of the language usage is quite good, I can say. But a small suggestion to all of you, whenever you want to speak in English, try to speak it as English. Try to complete the sentence. Okay, whenever you want to say something, just phrase it yourself in your mind. Okay, first phrase that particular thing, whatever you want to say in your mind, and complete the sentence. When you complete the sentence, what happens is, it gives you more confidence to speak more, and that actually makes a lot of sense to the listeners. And there is a small trick, a small tip that I can advise you on this. Actually, listening and reading can improve a lot on communication. So when you are reading, try to read the whole sentence without any pause or without any break in between. Try to read the whole sentence so that you can easily understand the content of it, and you can actually practice that in your communication as well. These are the two tips that you can try, and we'll meet in the next week. Thank you.
Okay. The next Toastmaster Shanwas. Can you just present the role, report of the accountant?
Good evening, Toastmasters. I am going to give you a finicky report about the usage. Toastmaster Shiva Kumar used 4 times. Toastmaster Yunus used 1 time. Toastmaster Ashraf TP used 14 times. And 3 times. And he repeated you know 3 times and I mean 1 time. Toastmaster Jamila used 10 times. 10. And was repeated 2 times and I mean was used 1 time. Toastmaster Ramraj 1 time. Toastmaster Rajesh 3 times and he repeated anyway 2 times. And you mean 2 times. Toastmaster Arun Balakrishnan 8 times and 9 times. Toastmaster Ann used 1 time and she used you know 4 times and I mean 2 times. 4 people.
Very crucial report. So yes, be aware and accept me, he not all. Okay, thank you. The next one is award ceremony. Okay, general evaluation. Okay, so I call to Toastmaster Rajesh Pulikre for the general evaluation.
In Toastmaster evening, the timing is very important. So we started 8 minutes late. That's why the TME was trying to catch up the time. So you should keep it in mind. Exactly 8 o'clock we should start the meeting. That is the TME and the Sergeant at Arms role is respectively starting the time. Even if the attendees are not there, start the meeting, let them join later. And when we started the theme of for the newcomers, what is the Toastmaster to understand, what is the theme and what is the our Sergeant at Arms explained very well which topic we should not speak in the table topic. I think you all understood. Do you remember? What is it? Sex, religion and political we should not. Apart from these 3 topic, any other topic you can choose. And give him a big round of applause for our And I'll come to the captain of ship later. And President's opening. In the absence of presidents, Vice President opened the meeting in very well. He narrated all the happenings, how we got the DCP point and next area club, everything. Acting President giving the big round of applause. We will get another applause for his KP role. That will keep it for the end. And today I was very happy. Tell me why?
So many guests.
So many guests, yes. When this hall is full, we feel very proud. Our club is running very well. So I welcome all the guests and I invite all of you to join the Toastmaster Club. And next role is Zulfikar. He was meticulously watching the time, but he did not switch off the light. Please give him the and accountant. It was a meticulous job. Next time I will not give accounting role for sure. We are all embarrassed how many times, but it is really helpful for improve our speeches. So you should have such dedication when you are given any role. So that role will give others to how to improve. Now I made three hours. On the next speech I will try to control my hours. Similarly, I suggested others how many they used. Definitely they will improve in their next speeches for controlling their words. So I believe we can give one more round of applause for Sam. Wordmaster was not finicky in choosing the word, and they brought a very good word, and I don't know, audience was a little finicky about using that word. But it was a very good word and he explained very well, and everybody know that, of course it is a new word for me, and definitely I will not forget this new word. In my future conversation or communication, I will definitely use this word.
You remember well.
Huh?
You will remember well. You taking your wife and that.
Yeah, that is right. Now, don't you think it deserves applause? And next is the table topic master. But that table topic master's time is eaten by Toastmaster Arun. So we had only 2 chances for 2 speeches, and both the speakers done very well. And what I can suggest for Annie, don't clasp your hand here. Keep the both hands free, and you have a good body language. So when you leave this hand free, you can automatically your hands will have the movement. So try to control this one. Otherwise, it was wonderful. All the best for you for the area contest. And Santosh, really for the first time you came and delivered very good table topic speech. Now, thought of the evening. Thought of the evening, he took us some emotional Toastmaster. Always he has got a life story, and he in his pocket so many stories are there. Whenever he comes, he gives some life story. I think most of he is visiting so many hospitals and he has got many stories about it. But it was a very wonderful sort of evening. Stitch in time saves 9. We heard this proverb, but how he connected to this story and very well delivered. Please give him a big hand. Now, speakers I am not going to evaluate because already evaluators bored them and given him enough evaluation. So, only thing for the evaluator who has taken a long time in explaining, I can tell him he doesn't have time, now only 3 days. All your suggestions, there is no time for him to improve. This suggestion should have been given 2 weeks back.
Yeah.
Now I believe you keep the same script, deliver the same way, definitely you will win. But now don't try to change the script because you have running short of time. So, your speed delivery was good, but whatever is comment is good, but if you had a time, you could have adopted. Because there are so many areas he has told that you keep it in mind in your script. That is very valuable suggestions he has given. Maybe after the meeting you can chat with him and then whom I left, anybody left this, except for the captain of the ship. And he did wonderful job. And he had little time and he managed the whole agenda in this limited time, and he has given chance to everybody. And most of I appreciated him for the guest introduction, and each guest felt as if they are in their home. I think you all believe that you are all same team and same family. And he deserves a good round of applause.